bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. Blessings to all of you on the retreat watching. One thing you learn, I think, practicing meditation, in particularly developing the quality of mindfulness and clear comprehension, is that the happiness of the mind is something that arises as an experience in the present moment. So much of our life we look at happiness as something that we're going to get in the future. When we get the thing we want, when we pass the exam, when we get the item we want to purchase, when we pass the job interview and get the job we want, or get the promotion we want, or get the paycheck, or when we meet the partner that we want, of our dreams, or when we're going to get married, then we'll be happy. When we have our kids, then we'll be happy. Or when the kids grow up, then we'll be happy. Or when we attain samadhi in our meditation, then we'll be happy. And so much of our time is spent planning and hoping and expecting for happiness and success at some time in the future, often to the point where we ignore the happiness that is freely available right here in the present moment. And I think you'll probably agree, when you put effort into bringing up mindfulness, whether it's your mind is directed to a meditation object, such as the breath, for example, or you're just paying attention to the mind itself, what you're thinking, feeling, what you're experiencing through your senses, but with mindfulness, you'll find that your mind improves, the quality of your mind improves immediately when mindfulness comes up. You're more present in the moment. You have more self-control. And many other skillful qualities arise out of this. And you can find happiness in the present moment. If only because what is not happiness, the experience of displeasure, annoyance, mental agitation, worry, anxiety, and so on, fades out when you're mindful. So the mind that has mindfulness, or is mindful in the present moment, we say is a mind with merit. Merit is something that's available here and now. In the sense, wholesome states of mind can be brought up right here, right now, at any time in our life, in any situation. And the more you practice, the more you appreciate that merit it's a quality of mind that is available to us all the time. sometimes we can begin our meditation session by recollecting some of the good things in our life as a way just to bring the mind to a wholesome state and bring up the sense of merit or skillful qualities of mind. Practicing with the breath meditation, we'll find sometimes we're tired, energy is low, and it's difficult to stay with the breath. But to recollect our past good actions, the good actions of others that we've witnessed or can remember, can immediately bring up a wholesome state of mind and help us to dispense with some of the mental agitation and distraction that quite often is bothering us. But to do that, one has to consciously direct one's mind to recollecting the good in one's life or in the lives of those around us. So it's a practice of, you might call it discursive meditation. Just going back over things you've done in the past, good things that have happened to you, your good fortune. Because we all have good fortune. We wouldn't be here, born as a human being, if we didn't have some good karma and some good fortune. We wouldn't be on a Buddhist meditation retreat if we didn't have some good fortune. So the good fortune to have encountered the teachings of Buddhism in this day and age, they're very easily accessible through the internet and publications and through travel to meet practitioners. This is our good fortune, and recollecting the things we've done in the past to do with our Buddhist practice, so recollecting the dana we've given, recollecting teachings we've heard, people we've met who have been inspiring or good examples to us, recollecting the precepts we've kept, recollecting the meditation we've done, the effort we've put into training this mind. All of that is recollecting merit, the quality of merit in different ways, because there's so many ways we make merit. And at that time when you're recollecting, if you bring up mindfulness, alertness as you do it, then already it's as if some of that merit is filling your mind at that moment, in the present moment. It's the opposite of getting lost and caught up in your more negative trains of thought or reacting to unpleasant experiences with aversion. It's the opposite of that. And that's one of the qualities of merit and meritorious states of mind, is they drive out demerit, they drive out the unwholesome, the unskillful. And it can be done in the present moment by recollecting that which is meritorious in our lives or thinking of others as well. So our happiness really is in our own hands. We're the masters of our own fate. We are the ones who make our karma. And this is something we have to keep reminding ourselves, because the unwholesome mind, the mind without merit, tends to get caught into blaming or feeling sorry for itself, complaining, negativity. And I think you'll probably all find during a meditation retreat where you're watching yourself more closely and becoming more aware of your body, speech and mind over these 3 days. We are the ones who generate our own karma through our actions of body, speech and mind. And our happiness or unhappiness, it lies within our own control, really. We can't stop what's going on in the world around us, and sometimes bad things happen, unfortunate things happen, unpleasant experiences come up. But how our mind copes with that and reacts to that and deals with that or responds to that, that lies within our own control. And this is why training the mind in making merit through practicing dana, keeping precepts, developing the skills of meditation is so important, because we have the power to affect our own experience of living in this world as a human being. We've probably all experienced times where we've been very stressed or angry or sleepy, but we put effort into establishing mindfulness and recollecting something that's wholesome, whether it's the breath or a past action or some concept, idea that is wholesome, and manage to break through that particular unwholesome mental state or experience that was bothering us. Turning to the breath can quell the mind when it's agitated. Turning to the thought of metta, kindness or compassion when the mind is full of anger can calm it down. Remembering some of our past good deeds can bring up a sense of well-being and happiness at a time when maybe we're feeling depressed or angry with ourselves, and so on. We've probably all experienced this, where you've just turned your mind around through your own wholesome efforts. And this is the power of merit, and thinking with merit and cultivating merit in different ways. It has this power to dispel or push away negativity from the mind and change the experience from unhappiness to happiness, from agitation to peace, from a sense of fear to a sense of calm, and so on. And this is the power of training the mind in making merit. And by practicing, you're making your mind firmer in merit by developing that skill. Because wholesome states of mind have the characteristic they're steady, they're stable. The more we bring up wholesome states of mind, skillful states of mind, the less agitated we feel, the less anxious we feel. Sometimes they refer to the sangha, the qualities of the sangha, as the field of merit. We chanted that this morning in the morning chanting. The field of merit, what does that mean? Well, literally, associating with sangha, recollecting the qualities of the sangha, spending time with sangha, showing respect for sangha, is like a field that's very fertile. Out of that comes so many other good things in your life. So an excellent way to cultivate merit is, as we know, supporting sangha. It draws us close to those who are ordained, committed to the path of practice for nibbana, who keep a high level of discipline and sila, who teach from their experience in the Dhamma, and so on. Supporting sangha and spending time with sangha is so nourishing for our practice. This is why we call them a field of merit. Even if you haven't got the chance, say, at this time to go out and visit sangha in monasteries and places of practice where they live, you're recollecting the qualities of the sangha quickly tends to bring up wholesome states of mind. You're recollecting sangha, monks and nuns from the time of the Buddha. Maybe you've read their life stories or heard of their life stories. Or recollecting sangha that you know personally, that you've met in your lifetime, and recollecting things that you find inspiring or the way they've practiced. This can be a valuable way to bring up faith and energy in the practice and to turn your mind towards that which is wholesome and away from that which is unwholesome. And drawing those reflections into your heart. So you're developing the qualities of you might say, the internal sangha in your own heart. We have the external sangha, the monks and nuns of the world who we can see and hear teachings from. But then we're also aspiring to develop those same qualities in ourselves. So we're drawing them into our heart. One of the defining qualities of sangha is the quality of hiri-ottappa, sense of shame, fear of wrongdoing. And because sangha, they keep a high standard of discipline, they're constantly reviewing their behavior to modify behavior whenever, as a monk, you you have rules of training that you have to keep, and you use them as a reflection to see whether you're falling into unskillful, unwholesome ways based on greed, anger, delusion. They're constantly cultivating skillful behavior and abandoning unskillful behavior of body, speech and mind. So when you're recollecting sangha, you're developing that same quality in your own heart. Even if you're a layperson with family, with duties and a job to do and so on, you can still do this, cultivating the sense of hiri-ottappa, sense of shame, fear of wrongdoing. They're called the guardians of the mind. These qualities guard over your mind from falling into unwholesome intentions that would lead on to unwholesome ways of speech and action. So recollecting the sangha on the outside and then recollecting the qualities of the sangha on the inside. The faith, the commitment to the practice, the sense of shame, fear of wrongdoing, and the efforts made to cultivate the path of dana, sila, bhavana. This is the internal sangha that you can tap into through recollecting the qualities of the sangha, and you're bringing the merit or the meritorious qualities of the sangha up in your own heart. So this is like the fertile ground for cultivation. Literally, sometimes people are caught in a very negative state of mind, and just by remembering a monk or a nun or the Buddha, that negative state passes by. They don't cling to it. It gives you the ability to let go at that time by just recollecting something more wholesome. Or spending time with sangha, we tend to become more mindful, more careful what we say we do when we're in a monastery or around those who are practicing as ordained sangha. It tends to bring out the renunciation in us. We're willing to let go of some of our negative traits of mind or negative speech, negative actions, because we're with sangha. And we're less prone to argue, less prone to be lazy, less prone to act in selfish ways when we're around sangha. So this is a very good way to bring up merit in your practice, recollecting sangha. I remember when I first went to Wat Nong Bapong, Ajahn Chah's monastery, one of the first things I noticed is that the monks there, this is 40 years ago, the monks there, I never noticed them complain. And living in the world, you get used to it to the point where you don't even notice it. Everyone complains all the time. We complain about our life, our family, our work, our health, our money, the economy, coronavirus, politics, everything. We're constantly complaining. And I asked someone, why don't the monks complain? They have quite a hard time. In those days, the food wasn't that good. There were lots of difficulties that Sangha had to endure, living in the forest. People got ill. People had very little possessions, very little comfort. I asked, why don't the monks complain? And someone answered me, they said, because they've got merit. That's one of the advantages or the benefits of making merit. As merit becomes established in your mind is in a more wholesome state, you complain less. You realize complaining, following negative states, of mind, reacting to situations that may be challenging or unpleasant, but you realize complaining doesn't help. It doesn't change anything, and it actually drags your mind down. So somebody who's cultivated merit and made their mind firm in merit tends not to complain. It doesn't mean to say they're not aware of the world and what's good and bad and right and wrong, but they don't dwell on the faults of themselves or others, or talk a lot about them, or complain about situations, because it doesn't improve anything. It actually makes things worse. So it's another quality of the mind with merit, is it doesn't easily complain. Another factor of the mind of merit is that necessarily, if the mind has a wholesome object, then it won't be thinking unwholesome thoughts. So not only did I notice the minds of the monks at Ajahn Chah's monastery, they don't complain, they also responded positively in very in situations, normal situations, everyday situations. They tended to respond positively. So like if some job needed doing, they would do it. They would help each other clean something up, or get a job that was necessary to be done in the monastery. They'd get it done. They would respond positively to situations. So it's another factor of the mind of merit, is that it's sort of in tune with life. You'll notice when we're caught up into suffering, negativity, stress, we get lost into our own world, our own unhappiness. We tend to be less sensitive to other people, less aware of what's going on around us. You know, if it's really extreme, say somebody becomes really depressed, angry, negative, they're just lost, and they often miss out things. They can't concentrate on what they're doing. They're not aware of what's going on around them. Whereas somebody with merit, their mind tends to be alert to the world, in tune with the world. And they're still living in exactly the same world as the person who's stressed or unhappy, but because the mind is in tune with the world, they tend to be able to respond better to whatever situations come along. So, as I said, I noticed people would quite naturally help each other out, or they'd be supportive. Say somebody was sick, a monk was sick, they would quite naturally see what was needed for that monk to help them out. Maybe they needed some medicine, or needed a rest, or they needed some extra support. In those days, we all got very sick a lot of the time, get fevers. Some monks would get malaria. Often we have gastric problems, diarrhea, even dysentery. And I noticed the monks would always respond in a very beautiful and a very wholesome way. So, if you had a fever, they might bring you a blanket, or or a special kind of food to suit your illness, or they would just check on you, come and visit you, see if you needed anything, or sit and talk to you and cheer you up, or whatever. They would respond to many different situations in a wholesome, a skillful way, and it was a very natural thing. And again, the explanation was, this is the mind of someone with merit. They don't complain, they get on with life, they're ready to do what needs to be done, and they respond in a skillful way. It doesn't mean to say they all have great knowledge or skills, but they just respond in a very naturally wholesome way to situations. So another one, I noticed the monks could be patient with waiting for food, or hot weather or cold weather, with painful feelings. Say when you're sitting, listening to a talk or meditating, you've got pain in your knees. They would be very patient and able to endure through reasonable level of discomfort. Maybe there's extreme discomfort is always hard for anyone, even a monk, but generally speaking, great sense of patience and endurance. And again, this is the mind that is in a meritorious state. When we lose our merit, the wholesome states of mind disappear, then of course one becomes impatient. One becomes impatient to get things finished, get things done, or to get something that one doesn't have. One doesn't want to endure through heat or cold or through mosquitoes biting one or whatever unpleasant things life brings up. One isn't really ready to endure when one's not in a meritorious state. But as one develops more merit through the practice, one can shake off negative thoughts that might arise because of the situation that comes up, an unpleasant situation. One can bring up a wholesome reflection at a time when one is under pressure. So maybe you have painful knees or pain in the back, but you can reflect on it skillfully rather than just get angry or upset. Even when anger arises, one can turn it around and reflect on what is the source of this anger, because one is willing to be patient, look and learn from the situation. This is the mind of merit. It's like this. They say one with merit is not easily angered. So as you practice, you're developing this ability to bring up wholesome states of mind, and maintain wholesome states of mind. We call this right effort. But in simple terms, you could say it's just the mind of one with merit. It's like this, doesn't complain, doesn't always react with negativity to situations. That mind can wait, willing to wait. That mind can be patient and endure through difficulties. And they have a term in Thai, they say nakpun, which means somebody who's skilled in developing merit. It's almost like sort of a career merit maker or a professional merit maker. And so often they call monks who have practiced for a long time and have developed a lot of merit, they say they're a nakpun. So you get many inspiring stories of monks, say like Kruba Sivichai, who, if you ever go to northern Thailand, is one of the most famous teachers who lived up in northern Thailand. They used to call him the Nakpun, the leader in merit of the Lana people. The Lana people are the people of northern Thailand. And he's famous for putting up with extreme difficulties. Kruba Sivichai is a monk. He lived 100 years ago or so, and in times where there's great poverty, very little government help, very little health care. The people were very poor, but he spent a lot of his energy going around renovating stupas with Buddha relics on the tops of mountains in northern Thailand and building monasteries, ordaining monks, training monks, and teaching large numbers of people in northern Thailand. But they call him skilled in merit or a leader in merit because he faced great obstacles. His own health, physically he was a very skinny, not a very healthy body. When he was young, he didn't have enough food, so his body was stunted, his growth was stunted, he wasn't physically very strong, so he had to put up with a lot of physical weakness and illness through his life. But he had a mind that was just focused on the Dhamma and making merit in all different ways. So he's famous for leading the Buddhist community, building the road up Doi Suthep mountain, which is the mountain next to Chiang Mai city, if you ever go to Chiang Mai. When the local government road making department said it can't be done, they're not going to do it. So he said, okay, we'll do it. And they did it by hand, using elephants to help carry materials, and then just a lot of volunteers every day building a road up the mountain so that they could build the stupa on top of the mountain to house the Buddha relics, and you can still go there today. He did that kind of project over and over again through his life, building stupas or renovating monasteries and stupas in very remote places, leading people in projects that were very difficult. And a lot of people were jealous of him because he was popular and successful. And they said that's another characteristic of one with merit. Like Kruba Sivichai had all these people criticize him, block him, even they put him under house arrest for 2 years. They were so jealous of him and wanted to kind of put him out of action from his merit making. But he never got angry with the people who did that. And that's the characteristic of the mind of merit. You don't give in to anger when someone's jealous or puts you down or unjustly accuses you of things. It doesn't matter, because inside your mind you have merit. Your mind doesn't just go to anger or depression or seek revenge. Merit is like that. It's like this quality that is so bright, peaceful, happy inside the mind that it can't be tarnished or blemished by the unskillful behavior of other people around one. So he's famous for that. He was really bullied, and his life was made difficult in many ways, as well as his own physical difficulties. The difficulties that came from other people were quite extreme at times, but he never gave up. And they said this is because he had such strong merit. And Lumpur Man, the father of the forest tradition, used to praise him and tell the monks, oh, this is somebody with real merit. He's what they call a bodhisattva, destined to become a Buddha in a future life. There's this skinny little monk, if you ever see pictures, dark-skinned, skinny little monk, but with amazing merit. And Lumpur Man said he had I believe it was Lumpur Man, had a vision of Kruba Sivichai, and he was carrying like a golden sword, the golden sword of merit. And that's another quality of merit. The sword symbolizes wisdom. It's not a sword for hurting other people, it's the sword for cutting through greed, anger and delusion in one's own mind and in the mind of others. So he's a teacher. So he was very good at teaching people to let go of their greed, anger and delusion. And his wisdom faculty was so sharp. In any situation he could see right through to where the mental defilements were, where the merit was, where the demerit was, where the wholesome dhammas were, where the unwholesome dhammas were. He's very good at that. So his mind was like a sword, and he would cut through people's attachments in his teaching and by leading them in doing good. And so they say as long as he had this golden sword, nobody could hurt him. So it's like symbolic of his merit. Merit is like that. The more you develop merit little by little through your life, it gives you this inner strength. You get the strength of patience, the strength of wisdom, the mind that doesn't give in to negativity, doesn't respond or react with, say, hatred when others try to hurt one. Recently I was reading about one mother from the UK who came to Australia a couple of years ago. There's a very sad story in Queensland. There was a young British girl, backpacker, who was murdered in a backpacker's hospital by another guy who probably was mentally ill, and just a random, very savage random attack, he stabbed her to death, and her male friend tried to defend her and he got killed at the same time. So 2 people died in totally unnecessary waste of life. This man was deranged, didn't know why he killed them, he just did. He lost the plot and killed them. But I think they're having the trial at the moment in Australia, and the mother of the girl came from the UK to be there for the trial, and so they're interviewing her and asking her, do you hate this man who's killed your daughter in such a savage, unnecessary way? Do you want him to be punished? Do you want him to suffer the same pain that your daughter suffered? And she said, no, that does no good at all. She forgave him. She said, dwelling on somebody with anger, thinking of them with anger, seeking revenge, only poisons your own mind, makes you unhappy, makes you angry. It doesn't help you, it doesn't help anyone else. So she said she forgave the man who murdered her daughter, and she even wanted to meet his mother because she realized the mother of the murderer must be very sad as well, and she wanted to talk to her. This is like merit at work. When the mind of merit doesn't go to negativity very easily, And it's even when under great provocation or temptation, if your daughter has been murdered, it'd be quite natural to feel great anger and want to seek revenge and punish and hurt the person who did it. But the mind of merit is like, it doesn't allow you to do that. It won't let you dwell on evil thoughts, unskillful thoughts. You still have to deal with the pain and the grief, but you can forgive. So the mind of merit is like, it's in a healthy state. Even under great strain or provocation, it still responds in the correct way to let go of anger, because anger is the mental defilement, and the anger is our own, it's not somebody else's. So a good example of merit in action. She may well not be a Buddhist person, so merit isn't even something that belongs to Buddhists. It's just a universal, these are universal qualities of mind. When a human mind is developed well, it's in a healthy state, then you can say it has merit. Forgiveness can come easily to one with merit. One with merit can be patient. One with merit can think skillfully in different situations. These are the qualities we're developing through our meditation, and the merit is like the fruit of that. The inner happiness and well-being, the clarity, the wisdom, and the peace. This is another quality of the mind with merit. When we develop merit through our meditation, it's probably the thing we're all seeking. Just peace of mind is what arises. Sometimes in small doses, sometimes deep, profound states of peace. But it accompanies the mind of merit. Again, one can achieve peace quite quickly by turning one's mind away from a negative or stressful thought or a mood of anxiety by bringing out a meritorious thought, like bringing the mind to the breath when there's a lot of mental agitation, calms the mind down, and the sense of peace can arise very quickly. When one's angry, to turn to letting go of that negativity, acceptance, tolerance, forgiveness, bringing those qualities up. And that anger and the agitating effect of the anger can quieten down very quickly. So sometimes you can see the sort of miraculous power of merit to change your whole mental experience in a very short period of time when you train in this, when you practice this. We call this bunyarit. Bunyarit means like the miraculous power of merit. So someone like Kruba Sivichai in northern Thailand, they say he had the miraculous power of merit. He could get things done, he could respond wisely in every situation because of the power of his merit. But we all have this power, it's just often it's undeveloped and we have to work at it. And this is what we're doing, particularly in our practice of meditation. Developing the ability of the mind to think clearly and think straight, to separate the mind out from states of agitation and anxiety, let them go, bring your mind back to the present moment and reflect on whatever's happening in your experience with mindfulness and wisdom. This, we say, is the miraculous power of merit, to cut through anger and bring up, say, forgiveness or compassion, to cut through anxiety and fear and bring the mind to a state of steadiness and calm. It's another quality of the mind of merit is, it's not easily afraid. This is why leaders in merit like Kruba Sivichai and others, they have a certain courage from the goodness of their actions. It's like this mother who forgave the murderer. There's a certain courage there. It's not easy to forgive. It takes courage to do that. But once done, then it's very inspiring. It takes courage to do good. Sometimes we're timid, we're lazy or self-centered. Sometimes we're just shy, inexperienced. But as we do make more merit through our life on every level, the mind becomes more courageous, stronger. So it actually brings strength of mind. And sometimes you meet people who are very physically weak or ill, but they have very strong minds because of their merit. So what I've been doing this morning is just giving you a picture of the mind of merit, because we're calling this retreat making the mind firm in merit. And you can see these qualities are there. It's like the qualities of good mental health. The mind can think straight, understand things when it's in a wholesome, meritorious state. It's strong, it's patient, it's kind, it doesn't complain, it doesn't get caught up into fear and anxiety and so on. These are the attributes, the qualities or the characteristics of merit. This is why we practice making merit. And every time we are doing something that is skillful, wholesome in our life, whether it's practice of generosity, keeping precepts, developing mindfulness, listening to Dhamma, reflecting on the Dhamma, merit is being generated little by little. So all these qualities and characteristics are coming together. So there's just something to reflect on this morning. In your practice, we now have a period left for some quiet meditation. So I'll leave the talk there, and we can just sit quietly until you hear the bell.